Welcome to Ascending with Venus Castleberg, a space where we explore the journey of spiritual awakening, expanding your consciousness and raising your frequency to create a whole new world. We'll dive into the possibilities that open up when you choose to follow the whispers and trust your inner knowing. Each episode is designed to guide you in expanding your awareness, tuning into your intuition, and discovering the magic of your life every day. We'll talk about living aligned with your soul's purpose, going beyond limitations and creating a life and a world worth celebrating. You are here to embrace who you truly are and step into the infinite potential that's waiting for you. Let's ascend together. And now, here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. So happy to have you here now or in the future. If you are here now, please say hello in the chat. I'd love to know that I'm talking to some people out there. So for some of you, you may not know this, but there are these two people that work behind the scenes on Om Times. They are the creators, the founders of Om Times, that I believe started as a magazine and now has a radio show and a TV show. And they're not frontline people. Frontline people are the people that are on camera. So that would be me. I'm a frontline person, but there's people doing a lot in the backgrounds on my team personally, but also in Om Times. And one of the people, I know she doesn't know I was about to do this, but one of the people is Leonie Buck, and she is, again, one of the founders of Om Times, and today is her birthday. Hi, Darla, and hi, Bob. So I am going to have everybody now and in the future, whenever you're watching this, to sing with me. We're going to sing happy birthday to Leonie, just so she gets that feeling of gratitude for all she does and everything she is in the world and all the difference and contribution she's made. And I just really wanted to honor her today. So if you will, sing along with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Leonie. Happy birthday to you. And many more. We are so, so grateful for who you are in the world. Thank you for the gift of you. I didn't plan on crying, but I am so grateful for her and her husband, Chris, and everything that they contribute to making the world a better place, truly. Hi, Josephine. Hi, Samantha. And thank you for everybody who joined in on that happy birthday wish to her. You can also, if you're watching this later, you can comment in the comments and tell her happy birthday. Again, just such a gift. So moving on to empowering others without losing yourself. So some of you might already be healers, visionaries, spiritual leaders in the world. And one of the things that I had to learn kind of the hard way was all the times I would try to empower people or make them better or, try to lift them up. I would always tend to do so with what I call now an empty tank. Ever notice how hard it is to let's just use vehicles, for instance, how hard it is to fill up another person's gas tank with your empty gas tank. You can't take gas from an empty car and fill up gas in another car because there's no gas to fill it up. So maybe this is the same with our energy, right? It's like Now, I don't believe there's a finite amount of energy. So that's another thing we'll talk about today. I think that's another thing that's really important to remember. However, at the same time, like if you just start with, okay, do I feel empowered today? Do I feel filled up? Do I feel like I've been nurtured? Have I been taking care of myself? Only you know the answer to that. Thank you for those of you wishing Leonie happy birthday. So we think that like we have to like save people, we have to fix people. Nobody's broken, by the way, so nobody needs to be fixed. But there's like also this like, oh, somebody's struggling, I will go down in the trenches with them and help them out. Have you guys ever, I have lots of analogies for this because I've done this a lot in my lifetime. Do you guys actually know what happens when people are drowning? And like, if you go in to try to save somebody who's drowning, what happens? A lot of times they will drown you because they're in such a desperate energy that they're trying to live, right? So the better thing to actually do for somebody if they're drowning is to throw them a life preserver or grab a stick and pull them out, right? But don't jump in the water and try to save them that way, because you may very likely end up being the one that drowns, right? This is true of kind of like our energy. Like if you have an overflow of energy, if your gas tank is overflowing, then you have extra energy to give people, to contribute to people. So making sure that your tanks are full all the time, right? I think, and it's such a, especially if you're a healer or a teacher or facilitator, somebody who wants to like make a difference in the world, a lot of us do tend, and I speak for myself because I have done it in the past, where we make other people more important or more valuable, or that, I somehow have to save this person from drowning, even if it costs me my life. I know it's a little dramatic, but it's a good analogy for like all the places where we think this person's really struggling right now, I have to save them. So if you caught it a couple of sentences ago, I said nobody is broken and nobody needs to be fixed. That also means nobody needs to be saved. So the reason why I think it's important to remember that is because if we are going around thinking that we have to save people and that people need to be saved, one, it's a superior point of view, right? Like somehow they're inferior or something, and we need to drag them out of the mud, or they're suffering and we have to, give them our last piece of bread. Like give them the shirt off of our back, even when it's our last shirt. Again, I'm being a little dramatic, but it's true, right? It's like this energy of like, I'm going to give you my last thing instead of taking care of me, right? Take care of you first. Do things for you first. Really like be in that space of like, how do I fill my tank up? I know for me, I love being outside. And I get so much from Mother Nature just by walking on the trails, listening to the birds, walking in the sand, wherever it is. I feel very nurtured and filled up, right? And I feel like I'm not trying to take care of somebody with an empty tank. Now, all that being said, there's another side of this that I think is also really important to remember. And that is, well, I'll ask you a question and you can look at it for yourself. So is universal energy limited? Finite? Oh, and by the way, if anybody has any questions at any point, you can call in 202-570-7057. I'd love to talk to you. So is the universe finite? Is there only a limited amount of energy? The answer is no. if any of you were wondering, and some of you were like, is this a trick question? No, it wasn't a trick question. No, the universe is infinite, right? But there's another thing that we tend to do, and this is a big one. Like I really, I'm not quite there yet, Samantha, but thank you. When I announce it, it would be great if you could post that. Anyway, so when you're in a limited universe, meaning you're thinking that there's only a limited amount of energy, you only have a limited amount of energy, I want you to look at something for me. When you think you have a limited amount of energy, one, are you part of the universe or are you separate? Not a trick question either. You are part of the universe, right? So energy is infinite. But the little trick for today, or the little thing to remember, is that when you're thinking that you're having to give from your energy and your energy is depleted, I want you to consider that perhaps you have walls and barriers up to the infinite energy of the universe. So for those of you who feel like energy is finite and you are constantly feeling depleted, can we, even if it's just for a few minutes, lower our walls and barriers, even the ones we don't know about? Lower them even more and more and more. And now allow yourself to expand your energy out and become aware of the infinite energy of the universe. It's all around us. It's in the chair you're sitting in. It's in the trees outside. It's in your animals. It's in your loved ones. It's swimming around in this energy that's around us, right? I have a bird feeder right outside my window, so I get to watch the little birds eat, right? There's energy there, right? There's energy everywhere. Allow yourself to really tap into the infinite universe of energy. So the lies that we buy, one, is that energy is finite and that we are somehow separate from the universe, and that when we're helping somebody or contributing to somebody, we're also in that like lack energy. Like, oh, I only have so much in my own silo. So if you think about yourself, you're in your own silo. So lower the walls and barriers even more, the ones you don't know about even more. And as you lower the walls and barriers, perceive, receive the infinite universe. So some of you might be having like money challenges. This is also the money abundance is also infinite. But it's only the walls and barriers or the belief systems that we put in place that keep us separate from that abundance, from that infinite explosion of money, wealth, consciousness, abundance, right? So, and some of you can comment, if you lowered your walls and barriers and became aware of the infinite universal energy, did your energy suddenly get filled back up? So yeah, you can do it this way. This is a way. There is no right or wrong, good or bad way, by the way. But you can do it this way. You can, okay, I'm feeling really depleted. I gave all my energy away and I'm going to go fill up my tank. Okay, I'm going to go sit in the tub. I'm going to take a day off and I'm going to go out in nature. And I'm going to do these things that help fill my silo back up, my gas tank back up. And then you can give to people with the overflow of that energy. Absolutely. That's one way. And again, it's not a wrong way or a right way. It's just a way. And the other way is to lower your walls and barriers and tap into, connect with the universal infinite energy that's all around you all the time. Notice if we were actually plugged in to the universal infinite energy, you probably would never feel depleted. You would never feel that separateness that you have to then know. Now I have to separate myself from people because they're asking too much of my energy, and I only have so much in my silo. So now I have to go fill up my silo so that I can get with the overflow, or get rid of the silo and tap into the infinite universe. Just a choice. Again, neither one is right or wrong, good or bad, but I invite you to try it. I used to be somebody who was extremely sensitive to crowds. Extremely sensitive. Like, I stopped going to malls. I stopped doing anything that was around large groups of people because I was in this silo, in my own little walls and barriers. I was in this container that was supposedly me and all of my energy, rather than when I started to lower the walls and barriers and expand my awareness out and expand my connection to everything in the universe and the infiniteness of it all, right? The unlimited, the limitless energy, all that. Like, as I started to tap into that, I was like, oh, now nobody and nothing can deplete my energy unless I let them, right? But that's because I believe they can and I let them. And I probably have erected some new walls and barriers. So then lower the walls and barriers some more, and then just be with that person. Maybe they are a draining person, right? But if you're tapped into the infinite universe, you just flood them with energy until they're satiated, right? Like, because you're not doing it from your own individual separate energy. You are part of the universe. You are connected to it all. So you can draw upon it all, right? So now I don't have problems in crowds anymore. I just don't. And I sometimes I have new friends or some friends. It's usually somebody who's new to hanging out with me, is like, yeah, I really struggle with being in malls or crowds. And I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. I used to be there too. Right. But we don't have to. Well, one, I also felt like I had to heal the world. That was my job. I was supposed to heal the world. And I would do so from my own gas tank. So I'd have to like really separate myself, just so that I could like fill up my tanks again and feel like, right. So it's just a way different energy if you're like, oh, energy is infinite. Energy is unlimited or limitless, right? If we just tap into the infinite energy. Now, some of you might be like, oh, that seems like too much. All right, I'm going to ask you to lower your walls and barriers even more. Because guess what you're trying to do? You're now tapping into the universal energy, the energy that's all around us and that's infinite. And you're thinking that you have to contain it and put it into a silo. Maybe a little bit bigger silo, but now a silo is still the same. No. Energy is just energy. Let it flow. Let it come and go, right? You don't have to contain it. You don't have to save it for a rainy day, because the universe is limitless, right? If you believe that there's only a finite amount of energy, then you will constantly have that feeling of like, I have to contain it. I have to fill up my gas tank, and then I have to help people with the overflow, like, right? Or you could just be like, oh, wow, okay. Sometimes people call me or reach out to me, or, they're like, I could use, I'm struggling today or something like that. It's a thought. It's an instant energy that's sent in their direction because they are struggling or they're asking for it. but it's not sent from my energy. It's sent from the universal energy, and it flows. It goes to them. And then sometimes when I need a little extra boost or energy comes back to me. It doesn't necessarily come from the same person or to the same person, right? But that energy will constantly ebb and flow, right? The tides of the water come in and go out. The energy will come in and go out. Money comes in and goes out. And it's meant to have a flow. Money's meant to be all energy is meant to have a flow. And when you are in flow with the energy, then there's never this like lack or thinking that some of it's missing or there's not enough to go around or whatever. If you're just like, the universe is abundant, the universe is infinite, and I can share my energy or share the universal energy with anyone, and energy comes back to me, and it just ebbs and flows and, dances around. I don't know about you, but I can totally tell that even just me talking about this subject, a lot of us lowered our walls and barriers and have been gifting and receiving energy back and forth. Some of you are laughing, and some of you are, chuckling to yourselves, and some of you are like, wow, yeah, I've really been feeling very depleted. None of you are right or wrong, good or bad. So you're not wrong if you've been feeling depleted, but then I'm just inviting you to lower those walls and barriers and tap into the universal energy. And when you tap in, as you tap into the universal energy, we all tap in together. So now we're feeding off of each other in a way. Not feeding, I guess, maybe isn't the word that I'd like to use, but it's a way of just saying, hey, we're contributing back and forth. We're laughing together. We're a little tickled. Hey, it lit up Leonie and it lit up me and it lit up a lot of people to sing Leonie happy birthday, right? So that energetic contribution that we did to somebody, some of you may not even know who she is, right? Because she works in the back end and, she's Leonie. and that's like that contribution of just singing and saying happy birthday to somebody you don't know. What a gift, right? That energetic exchange. I'm getting head to toe chills because we are constantly giving and receiving, gifting and receiving all the time, contributing to each other. Sometimes with a smile, sometimes with a laugh, sometimes with a hug, right? Like the oxytocin that's released when you can actually give somebody a physical hug is an energetic contribution that happens for both parties, right? But that's the way energy is meant to constantly be contributing to each other and to the world. And as we enjoy the beauty of the earth, and the earth gives us more beauty, it's simultaneity of gifting and receiving all the time, right? So you can, with that energy, empower others without losing yourself. You can then contribute to others without draining yourself. You can have each other's backs, but not feel like you have to go in and let them drown you, right? It's like, it's kind of a morbid thought, but like, I really want you guys to get this. It's like somebody in your life loses their arm. Well, as it stands right now, we can't just cut off our arm and give it to them. There are procedures that you can do. You can give somebody a kidney because then you still have at least one that works. But still, it's like we think that because this person lost their arm, it's a better idea for us to cut off our arm and give it to them. But now neither one of you have an arm because you can't sew your arm onto somebody else's arm. This is not the way it works, right? Like I said, not with today's technology. Someday maybe you could do that, if but by then we probably have prosthetics and they can get a bionic arm. Like still it's just like, but we're like so entrenched or trained to like give the shirt off your back, like save a drowning man. not if you're going to drown too. Now, one of my weak spots, some of you may not know this about me yet, but you get to know today, is animals. I love animals. And for some reason, like I don't do a lot of scrolling, but on the few times that I do scroll, they tend to pop up these videos of like animals being rescued, dogs being rescued, and then like how the dogs come back to life because they're being loved and fed and they come off the streets. And then there's also people who like are saving their dogs from that have fallen into the ice, right? I'll be honest with you, I probably would put myself at risk for my animal. So I'm not perfect. But I'm just saying that if there's a way to not endanger yourself, to contribute to somebody else, that might be a preferable way. But not necessarily. It's always a choice. But there is a way for you to empower others, to lift people up, to help them believe in themselves without sacrificing yourself. You don't have to kill yourselves to save them. You don't have to cut yourself off to go on the ride of their life. Dr. Dane here wrote a really great book. I highly recommend it often. And if you have not read it, it's called Being You, Changing the World by Dr. Dane here. And we'll post a link in the comments with that as well. But he talks about that, like how in relationships we often cut ourselves off to go on the ride of their life instead of how do we uplift each other? How do we be there for each other and empower each other and celebrate each other and, hug each other when somebody else is down, right? But there's a different way. There's a different way, and it is tapping into that universal energy. And when you tap into the universal energy, you don't magically go away. It's not like you disappear and you become part of all of it. I would say more you tap into the energy of all of it, right? You are connected to the universal life force energy that we all have access to, unless we've siloed or walled ourselves off to keep ourselves separate from it. I hope that was a contribution to you. I am so grateful for those of you listening now and in the future. We're going to take a really quick break and then come back right after this couple minutes.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome forward. So if any of this resonated with you or rang true for you, or you felt like, wow, there's really something here, we're going to dive in even a little bit deeper into how to become an empowered spiritual leader. And it's a free masterclass, and it's tomorrow evening. We posted the link in the comments, and we'll post the link in the information below the video as well. Just if you are already a spiritual leader and you've just been wanting to like get better, feel more empowered yourself, feel like you're not giving from empty tanks, if you want to expand your impact on the world and you haven't known how, if you really want to feel like you have what it takes to take your message out in the world, then this might be the masterclass for you. It's totally free. Would love to have you. Click on the link and you can sign up for it directly. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you there. If you can make it, it is at 6 p.m. in the US, but that's okay. If you can't make that time, it will be recorded. So still sign up for it, and we'll get you the recording as soon as we can. Okay. So thank you for that. And I would really like to just spend the rest of our time together today. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks because we've had guests and sometimes I get chit-chatty, but today I would really like to dive in and do a little bit of a meditation visualization to help us empower ourselves to then empower others. So find a comfortable seat. If you're driving, maybe put a pin in this and come back to it when you can relax and receive. And just start with a couple of deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Feeling your feet on the floor, maybe wiggling your toes, saying hello to the earth beneath the floor. Inhale in, exhale out. And relax. Let it completely relax you. Breathe in, exhale out. And feel the crown of your head. And let the crown of your head and the energy at the top of your head say hi to the heavens. The energy of you connecting you with the heavens through the crown of your head and through the earth, through the bottoms of your feet. Relax your shoulders down your back and away from your ears. Allowing your mind to just go quiet by focusing on your breath. Inhale in, Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. And I'd like you to invite your body into your being. A lot of us, myself included, tend to operate our bodies outside of our bodies, or sort of connected, maybe connected from the neck up. Allow yourself to just allow your body to step into your being. So we don't need to stuff the being in the body, it's too big for that. But allow your body to be completely enveloped and surrounded and infused inside and outside of your physical body. And allow your being to pulse in and pulse out. Pulse in and pulse out. Coming into the body, wakening up all the cells, bouncing out of the body. Ebb and flow, in and out. As the breath comes in and out. It's not that the being leaves the body all completely. It has this highlight of energy, this intensity of energy that comes in, and then it filters out, it ripples out, allowing it to ripple out to everyone on this show now and in the future, allowing it to ripple out to other states, other countries, and then let that energy come back in and then ripple back out and come back in and ripple out. And as you get this flow of energy, this flow of your beingness, as it comes in and out, allow your body to feel energized. Allow your body to get filled up. This is one of the places where we might have an empty feeling or a lack feeling, is when we're not including our body in our being. Our body doesn't desire to be drudging through this life alone. It desires to be a part of you and you to be a part of it. So include your whole body, even the parts of your body that you don't necessarily like. Let them be part of this embodiment, this connection to your being as well. If you try to keep any part of yourself, your body, separate from your being, you're in essence keeping yourself completely separate from your body. So just allow yourself to infuse those places, those areas. Maybe you have some pain or discomfort, or you don't like the way something looks and you wish you were younger, whatever that is. Allow your being to come into that. Because you, the being, actually doesn't have a point of view about age and bodies. And you, the being, knows that life in the body is short term. And you can go get another body. But allowing yourself to just be completely embodied and in your being. I almost want to say, we've often heard people say embodied, but I almost want to say in being. Because again, we're including the body in the being, not the other way around. And just perceive what it's like to be completely in being. All of your physicalities, your senses, your sensuality, your sight, sounds, taste, hearing, even your sixth sense, your awareness of the unseen realm. Just perceive it. There's no judgment here. There's nothing to do with it. Again, as you become aware of energies, you don't have to repel it or reject it, and you also don't have to contain it and hold on to it. So if it's an energy you don't like, let it flow through. If it's an energy you do like, let it flow through. Allowing it to just be constantly ebbing and flowing in and out. But notice as you include your body in your being and you are in being, allow yourself to really feel and experience and perceive how much lighter that is, how much easier that is, maybe how much more joyful that is. Because you are in being it. And then you're empowering yourself by being and embodying all at the same time. Empower yourself. Empower your life. Empower your body. Empower your being. Empower yourself by being grateful for yourself. Empower your body by being grateful for your body. Empower your relationships by having a great relationship with yourself, by being grateful for yourself. And then there isn't an absence of something, a lack of something that then you feel like you have to go do for others, or if you help others somehow, you'll help yourself. That is true. And what if it can really, truly begin with you? Inside you. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Allowing yourself to just feel the infinite universe as it ebbs and flows, as it comes in and goes out, and as you are connected to all things everywhere all at once. We've said this before, but Imagine that you are a cell in the body of God. And that cell still has its own unique shape and unique job. And so you still get to be an individual in the body of the whole. But if you allow yourself to be part of the whole, notice how much more energy is there, gratitude, love, abundance, limitless possibilities. And you get to be whole in the wholeness. Feeling that connection to all that is. If you're trying to fill up somebody else's tank with an empty tank, then you're believing that you are a finite being instead of an infinite being as a part of the whole. So just allow yourself to become aware of all of the energy that is all around you all the time. Again, you don't have to compartmentalize it, you don't have to contain it, you don't have to control it. It's just energy. Just let it flow in, flow out. Flow in from somewhere else and flow out from somewhere else. And notice how there's always energy coming in and always energy going in. But you never are depleted or run out of the energy. You can perhaps in this energy see yourself standing on the shoreline on the beach. And the sand is just the right temperature under your feet. Your feet are bare. And you're aware of this energy and the waves that comes in and then goes back out. Allow the energy as the waves come in to wash over you and then wash out. Let it bring energy in that is a contribution to your body and your being at this time. And let it wash out anything that is not a contribution to your body and being at this time. Wash in gratitude. Wash out judgment. Wash out comparison. Not from this is good and that is right and this is bad and that is wrong. Not from that energy, but from just like, okay, what energy do I like to receive more of? Most of you out there, if not all, prefer gratitude over judgment. So allow the gratitude to wash over you and the judgment to wash away. Allow the abundance and the wealth to wash over you and the lack and the feeling as if something is missing to wash away. And as you're standing there on the beach, I want you to just not only be aware of the waves as they come in and come out, bringing in stuff that's a contribution and taking away things that are not a contribution, but also be aware of there's this really cool thing that happens near the ocean. If you've been near the ocean, there's a smell in the air, right? The smell of sea air. And in some places, I grew up in Juneau, Alaska, so the sea air is a lot more poignant, potent when you're in the southeast Alaska or Washington. But that being said, anywhere you are near the ocean, you can smell the ocean. But how do you smell the ocean? Particles of the ocean are now in the air. So just become aware of the particles of the ocean in the air as you breathe them in. And exhale out. Breathe them in and exhale out. Breathe them in and exhale out. Maybe you notice the sounds. Maybe you can hear the ocean coming in and going out. Or you hear the seagulls or the pelicans. Maybe you're aware of the little tiny sand crabs scurrying about, rushing to their holes as the water comes in, and then allowing themselves to come out when the water goes out. As you focus again on what do you see, watching the water come in and come out, you also see the birds flying. I now want you to see the dolphins playing in the water. And allow the playfulness, the joy that they're experiencing as they play in the waves of the water. Allow that joy to reverberate out, to ripple out and touch you and your body and your being. Letting the joy empower you. Letting the joy lift you up. Letting your 5 main senses lift you up. You might even feel your toes in the sand, or feel the water, the warm water as it washes over your feet. Just allowing yourself to enjoy it. Enjoy this replenishment of energy that is coming to you from all the different senses. From your body being embodied, being, allowing yourself to feel empowered to be you, to be the gift you are in this world. And when you're empowered to be you, as Dane would say it, be you and change the world. When you're empowered to be you, changing the world is so much easier. Because you're the gift you came here to be, contributing what you came here to contribute, just by being you, not from what you do or what you say, or if you cut off your arm to save somebody else's arm, just by being you, by being a spiritual leader. that in and exhale out. Breathe that in and exhale out. Slowly becoming more aware of the time where you are right here, right now. Maybe rubbing your hands together, slowly opening your eyes. I'm so grateful for you all. I hope you have a magical week. I'll see you next time.